Hi, and welcome back to Granny's Goodies. We're so excited that you joined us today. Henry and I and my grandchildren are all ready for action. We're sorry we missed you over the past few months. We were so busy over the summer with going to Utah, and Henry had his doggy camp for a week, and then I went to Ireland, but we're back and ready for action today to make some chocolate fudge cookies. So let's get started. Let's hand Henry over to my dog handler grandson. Here we go. Bye, Henry. Okay, now we're ready to start. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut up a half a cup, which is 1 stick of unsalted butter. Cut it in chunks like this. And then you're going to add it to 200 grams of chocolate chips. So in this case, because we're looking for a little fall flavor, we're using Lily's sweet caramel chocolate chips this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to just sort of mix that together a little bit, and we're going to put it in the microwave, probably for about 60 seconds. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll be right back with you as soon as it's ready. Let's see if everything's ready. Let's open it up, Hen. What do we have? Look at that. Dogs can't eat chocolate, Henry. But let's see if it's ready to go. I know you smell it, young man. Now this is the consistency that you want. You want all of your chocolate melted and mixed in with the butter that we added. So this just takes a few minutes to really get that stirred together. Okay? Okay, now let's go over to the rest of our recipe, because now I think what we're going to do is add the brown sugar. So we're going to put our chocolate mixture. Can everybody see what I'm doing? Put our chocolate mixture in a bigger bowl. It's going to cool down a little bit. And now we're going to add our sugars. And we're going to add our brown sugar, which we've measured out here, a cup of brown sugar, and a half a cup of white sugar. We're going to mix that up with our chocolate really well, and then we're going to add our eggs next. And the last thing we're going to actually add is the flour and even more chocolate through unsweetened cocoa powder. So I think you are really going to enjoy this recipe. Okay, I think we're ready to add our eggs now. Let's add our eggs next, and I think we're going to add our vanilla at the same time we add our eggs. So we're going to add 2 eggs, 1 egg, okay. We're going to add our little bit of vanilla. I sort of measured out myself like that. We're going to get those eggs incorporated really well. You don't even need a mixer for this, just a strong hand of your grandchildren. It's too early in the day. My grandson can't help us mix because he's saving his arm for baseball game today. And my granddaughter's saving her arms for swimming. Okay, now we're going to add our flour, and we're going to add our baking powder, 1 teaspoon. Let's make sure we have that right. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And we're going to add, here comes our unsweetened cocoa powder. Now, I use Hershey's unsweetened, but you can get a lot of different varieties at the store. This morning we had a little explosion in the house where the cocoa powder fell on the ground, and we had to get it up very quickly. And you're just going to use a little bit of salt just to bring out the flavor. Anyway, back to my story. So the cocoa powder fell on the floor. We had to clean it up before the dogs started getting it, but we're okay now. So here we go, mixing all this together. I think they're really good, smelling good, aren't they, guys? Okay. Okay, we almost have this incorporated now and ready to go. Now you're going to preheat your oven to 340 degrees, okay? Okay, now let's drop this down. See what it's going to be like. I forgot to tell you, put down a piece of parchment paper. Okay. There you go. We're just going to drop the cookies just like that. Might be even easier if you had a scooper, like a little bit of a ball melon scooper, but we're going to drop ours, this first batch, and just see how they come out. You know, the first batch is always for the cook because we're always testing what we're doing, testing the temperature, testing the amount of doneness. So the grandkids love that because the first batch is always for us. Okay. There we go, because we don't really know what size we want to make yet, and you know, so I'm making some smaller, some larger, and we'll see what they all taste like when we're done. Okay, there we go. Let's put those in the oven and we'll be right back to you when they're ready to come out. They're going to cook for about 10 minutes. We're going to start with 10 minutes and see. So we'll be back in a second. Okay, welcome back to Granny's Goodies. Our buzzer's going off, which means our first batch of cookies are done. Henry, let's take a look and see what they look like. Wow, see how they spread out? That's perfect. So what we're going to do is let them cool for a few minutes and put in our next batch that we already have ready. Okay, and we'll put the timer back on. And then we'll let these cool here because if you can see, if I try to move them, they stretch a little bit. So you want them to stay on the cookie sheet for about 10 minutes until they're cooled. And then we'll remove them to a cooling rack and then we'll enjoy them. So thank you for joining us today, Henry and I and the grandchildren. And once again, thank you for my dog handler grandson taking care of Henry, and my granddaughter for my makeup and hair and the video recording. We can't wait to see you next time. Bye from Granny's Goodies. Bye, Henry.